Hello everyone! So, welcome back, and you join me in a very nice place to sit, as you can probably tell by everything up and around me. And you join me sat in one of our newest arrivals, which literally just landed today, and it is a 2014 Range Rover 5-litre V8 supercharged autobiography. That was a mission, remembering all that, but I did it. So yeah, you join me sat up here in the front, and basically what I'm going to do, this car is literally, as I said, just arrived this afternoon. By the time you're watching it, it will have been here a few days, but as I'm filming it right now, it has just arrived. And I'm going to give you a little run through of basically this car. But I have just filmed the driving aspect. I've been out in the car for about an hour now. I've taken it to go and get valeted. I've just filmed the driving segment, and oh my god, this car has absolutely blown my mind. So yeah, I'm gonna show you a walk round. We're gonna walk round of the car. I'm gonna show you everything, and then we'll obviously get onto the driving bit in a bit. Let's have a look round to start with, because it's very exciting. So first things first, I noticed this straight away, I love it. So you open the door and they've got a little electronic step which comes out, which is very nice for little short people like me. Oh, here she is, a 2014 Range Rover 5-litre V8 supercharged autobiography. There we go, I remembered it all again, just. Pretty much bog standard, to be honest. It is literally as it came out of Land Rover, and it looks amazing. You can't deny that Land Rovers, Range Rovers, they all look good, no matter what you think of them. And that is going to be like a big vibe in this video, is no matter what you think of Land Rovers, Range Rovers, because I know there is a big stigma about them, because I was one of them. I'm not going to deny, I was one of them that was like, Range Rovers don't do it for me. But since I've driven a few, this is what we're going to get at. You need to change your mind. But I am going to turn it off because that sound is really doing my head in. So it's finished off in a beautiful white, which is so bright in person. I'm glad that the camera is slightly dulling it down. And we've got the black section of the roof, and we've got silver wheels. Personally, yeah, I mean, I'm an advocate for, like, I love silver wheels. I know that's a really unpopular opinion, but if it was me, I think that you need to go gloss black, just so that they match everything else on the car, because everything else is literally gloss black. Obviously we've got all the gloss black trim, everything here, we've got the gloss black diffuser, gloss black roof, definitely needs gloss black wheels, I think. Rolling on big 21-inch wheels, and as you can see poking through there, we have got some red calipers. Now I'm going to show you the ones up at the front, because I don't know if you can see the size of those bad boys, but they are massive, absolutely huge, which you would expect, and they are Brembo as well. But yeah, as you would expect from a big 500 brake horsepower Range Rover, it's gonna have big brakes. I think gloss black, those red calipers, same again, everything's gloss black. We've got gloss black grille, gloss black on the front there, all on the vents. So here we've got the typical Range Rover vents along the side. It's just really nice to look at. It's one of those cars where, you know, it does just look good, doesn't it? As well, we do have the supercharged badge on the back, just in case you do forget, and the autobiography on the back, in case you forget that as well. And we do also have quad tip exhaust, which from a V8, I should expect. And believe me, does some noise and racket come out of those. Go on into the inside. Look at that, so accommodating. So inside we have got black and cream leather seats, which first time I got in it, I was a bit like, I don't know. But honestly, when you're driving it round, it just does work. Same again in the back. We have got black and cream full leather seats. In here we do have little armrest cup holder, malarkey, which, I mean, just look at that. Range Rovers come in a ton of different, obviously specifications, specs, all that jazz. So you can get the Vogue SE, the HSE, which I found out recently stands for High Specification Equipment, and I don't know what I thought it stood for, but that wasn't it. I don't know why I was surprised by that. And then you can get the Autobiography. So the Autobiography tends to be the one at the top. It's the top dog, do you know what I mean? So it's always the one that's got the most luxury, if you like, and the most kit and things like that. It's always the one that's more about being a luxury car than it is about being an off-roader. Usually the only ones that are a bit more expensive than the Autobiography is the SVR, which is obviously the king of the Range Rovers, isn't it? Like, specification things that include in an Autobiography are the TV screens in the back of the headrests for the rear passengers. We've got a full panoramic roof, which is amazing. Everybody loves a sunroof. I'm a sucker for a sunroof, but like a panoramic roof just hits different, doesn't it? Be sure these side steps are part of the Autobiography as well. Obviously we've got the full leather, like it's not just the leather seats, you've got leather door cards, got leather everything. It is everywhere, and it's got that leather smell. Like, even if you went blind, you would still know that this car is full of leather. Obviously in the back we have got all of the controls. We've got rear heated seats, which obviously can be temperature adjusted. We've got climate control in the back as well, and a 12-volt power socket. So, you know, this car looks after its rear passengers just as much as it looks after the front passengers. Moving back into the front of the car, like as I said, leather everywhere. You've even got a leather steering wheel with full steering wheel controls. As I say, we've got cruise control, you've got all of the radio controls, you've got like the voice recognition, Bluetooth to answer the phone, heated steering wheel as well, which is always something I've always wanted to have in one of my own cars. Like, I hate having cold hands, so I feel like heating steering wheel would probably change my life. This isn't just a Range Rover, this isn't just made to be, you know, some flash car that you just, I don't know, just drive around so people know that you're rich. Actually, it's a Land Rover at the end of the day, isn't it? It is an off-roading beast, and it is one of the, it's up there at the top with the off-roaders, isn't it? Like any Land Rover car, that's what they're known for. And this is no exception. So just down here, obviously we have got all of like the controls for the off-roading. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what the difference between a cactus and a pine tree is, and snow and whatever the hell that is. I think that's like a boulder, isn't it? But knows what it's doing. Do you know what I mean? It's a car that knows what it's doing when it comes to being off-road. So you've got all of those controls down there. So yes, this might be a big obnoxious luxury vehicle, but it is also still an off-roader, and it's a very, very good one at that. Down here as well we have all the controls for like traction control. You've got like the start, stop, all that jazz. Double cup holders you can hide back. It's got like a quite a weird like textured, it's almost like aluminium carbon fibre, I don't quite know what it's trying to be, texture on here. And then obviously you've got like the big screen on there. Now, as I mentioned before, I think the only thing that gives this car away that it is coming up to 10 years old is that screen, and I'm going to show you it now. I went in a 2018 Land Rover the other day, and I'm going to say this in the driving video, but don't quote me, I think that is when the facelift happened, and the only noticeable difference I could tell between the two was this area here. Everything else is obviously it's a little bit different, but there's not a massive difference, and I think the only thing that gives this car away that it is coming up to 10 years old is this screen here, because it is quite outdated in terms of some of the screens and stuff that you see in newer cars. It is, I don't know, it does just feel a little bit old, it's a little bit laggy and things like that. But this is the thing, I think because it still looks so new from the outside, you do forget it's a 2014, it's 8 years old, so it's not going to be up to date with all the high tech that you would usually expect from a Range Rover. We do have like the all electric screens for the dials, which is really nice. Same again, that really brings it up to date and does, you know, give it that luxury feel. The steering wheel, as mentioned, it's full leather, it's bloody lovely. And we've got the giant, and I mean giant, armrest down here, which is huge. Like, why the hell do you need, oh my god, it's got a fridge. Jesus Christ, this car really does just not stop. It's got a fridge, guys, there is a fridge. I don't feel like I'm like ridiculously small in it, even though it's a big car and I'm not the biggest person in the world. I don't feel small in it. Like when I drove the Audi SQ7, I felt tiny. Like I literally felt like I was a child driving like an adult sized car. Whereas in this, I feel completely at home. I feel absolutely fine, and it doesn't feel like a massively big car when you're in it. It does feel really nice. That was a quick walk round of everything that I, well, can obviously show you up front of what the car is like. We're gonna go and take it for a little drive. I say we're gonna, I've already taken it for a little drive. I'm actually filming this afterwards, and oh my god, just be prepared to see the multiple faces from myself of how bloody fast this thing actually is. Let's go. So here we are, cruising in the Range Rover. Now I can't help but deny that every single time I drive one of these things, it's just a good feeling. Like it's hard to describe. Anyone who's driven a Range Rover will know that driving a Range Rover is a very pleasant experience. There is no denying it. No matter what you think of Range Rovers, no matter what the stigma around them or anything like that, they are a really, really nice car to drive. There is just something about driving a Range Rover that you don't quite get from any other car. Driving this one, I get it. I'm the type of person who, I'm not flash, I don't care what people think about what I drive or anything like that, but I do understand why people do drive these things. They are good, really good. A couple of days ago, I drove another Range Rover. It was one of the newer ones. It was in 2018, whereas this is the 2014, so it was one of the facelifted. I think 2018 was the first year of the facelift ones, and that was just, you know, like the V6 diesel, the TD V6, which is what a lot of them are. And even that impressed me. I was like, God, this thing's good, it's nice, it's fast, it's, you know, it's got everything you wanted it to do. And then I got in this thing, which is a 5 litre V8 supercharged, which is a whole different kettle of fish. We've got a 5 litre V8 supercharged. That just sounds completely obnoxious if you ask me, and it is. That's all it is. It's obnoxious. It's ridiculous, but it's amazing. I mean, I can't really show you too much at the minute because I've got a Citroen Berlingo in front of me going about 20 below the actual speed limit. This thing is aggressive. That is all I can say right now. So I've been driving it at the minute for about half an hour, so I've just took it to go and get it valeted, and I'm just, you know, on a little drive round in it now, and I think it's about tore my head off at least 3 times, purely because I just can't get used to it. Because, well, I just can't get used to the fact that I've got a 5 litre supercharged V8 in front of me that is putting out 500 brake horsepower and 450 foot-pounds of torque. Like, that's a lot. I don't know whether it's because I've only ever driven the, you know, the V6 diesels, that for some reason I think that this thing is going to be the same. It's not. All you have to do is put your foot down a little bit and it's... What the f***? Honestly, this is the type of thing that would literally put tears in your eyes. Like, setting off, you have got to touch that accelerator pedal so gently if you want to set off in what some would consider normal manner. You just put your foot down like this. You know about it. Whoa, you know about it. You definitely know about it. It's not even just the speed and the torque, it's the sound. It literally sounds like it's coming from the depths of hell. Like, it is the biggest roar ever. It's... When I first got in it, I was just driving it civilised, you know, like you do. I'm not just going to get in it and just start immediately put my foot down. But I think I set off with some traffic lights and I just put my foot down probably a little bit too hard, and then all of a sudden I just heard literally the soundtrack of hell come out of the bloody exhaust at the back and the bonnet at the front, and my head was suddenly slamming off the back of this. Yeah, to cut that story short, it's bloody fast, it's loud, and it's aggressive. But it's fun, I love it. Oh god, here we go again. Let's just set off normally, shall we? Yeah, nice and civilised, and then you just think, oh sorry, I just need to overtake something slightly. It's the type of car where it makes your double chin come out, because you like that. That's going to be a really ugly picture, but oh well. I'm driving a Range Rover, who cares? Obviously, all that aside, yes, it is an autobiography, so obviously there's loads of different trim levels that you can get with a Range Rover. You can get like the Vogue SE, HSE, and then you can get the autobiography. So the autobiography is like the top dog. It's the most luxurious out of all of them, even though the other one's called a high specification equipment. But I don't know, maybe that's more in regards to, you know, the actual off-roading equipment, I guess. I don't fully understand. If there's nothing more confusing in life than specifications on cars, and Range Rovers don't half make it complicated. A lot of the things in the autobiography, it's better trim. You get, like I said, it's the most luxurious out of the 4, 5, God knows however many they are, and like it's always usually the most expensive. The one that's like above an autobiography would be the SVR. If this can have this effect on me, like make me feel like I'm, you know, my heart is in my mouth, then I dread to think what an SVR is like. Where would I could go? But yeah, so it's an autobiography. It's a nice place to be. Any Range Rover that you sit in is a nice place to be, and this one is absolutely no exception. So obviously we've got all of the trims and bits that you could possibly want from a big obnoxious car like this. Now, as I just said, it's supercharged, but the one thing that I will say that I was a little bit sad about is you can't quite hear the supercharger as much as I thought you would be able to. Like, I thought you would be able to hear it, well, obviously everyone knows what a supercharger sounds like. It's like the big whine. I thought you'd be able to hear that a lot in here, but you actually can't. And to be fair, the car is only really loud and obnoxious when you are putting your foot down. Like at the minute now, I'm literally just sat at like 1,000 revs, which is like, and I'm doing 50 miles an hour. It is extremely civilized. It's nice. Like, I can't deny that. It is literally just nice. It's quiet. It's almost like it's pretending to be something normal, when we all know that, well, I know for sure that it's not. But I suppose that's another thing, like on the roads, there's nothing really that stands out that says this is a big V8 supercharged engine. Obviously the SVRs come with all the massive kit and everything, whereas this literally does just look like a normal Range Rover. It does have a supercharged badge on the back, but not everyone's going to go around checking the badges on your car, are they? It's almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's very aggressive. I might look terrified on that, but it's also very civilised. Like, you can literally drive this thing through town and you've not got that awful, well, I say awful, it's not awful, it's anything but awful, it's glorious, but the big roar constantly. So it has got an 8-speed gearbox, so yeah, like now I am cruising at 50 miles an hour. It's just dropped down to just over 1,000 revs. It's very quiet, it's very nice, but you can also put it into sport, which, so now that's in sport, which is in like semi-automatic, so I can now use the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Right, let's just put it back into normal, shall we? It can be normal. It's ridiculous, it's loud, it's giant, but it can be somewhat normal, which I suppose is a good thing, because like you get the best of both worlds, don't you? You can just have like a normal boring Range Rover if you want it, or if there's a cyclist like this lady here, you can just overtake them like that, and it sounds good while you're doing it, which is, any petrol head like myself, that is all you look for. I am going to turn around though, because I have absolutely no idea where I am. I thought I did. Oh, actually it's very nice around here. In fact, I fit in beautifully in this beautiful little village in my big Range Rover. If anything, I look like one of the locals. So this is quite good actually. So this is literally a tiny little village with really tight roads, but you would think a car of this size would be really difficult to manoeuvre around, like little back country roads like this, but it isn't. It really does not feel as big as it is at all. So the Range Rovers, I know the autobiographies can come in the long wheelbase. This isn't a long wheelbase, this is just the normal one. Don't get me wrong, the long wheelbase is huge. This is like a nice size. It's big, it's not little. I feel like I'm the most powerful thing on the road right now, but it's not like difficult to manoeuvre, it's not difficult to handle, it's not difficult to drive. It drives really nice, like the steering is really light, like it's not heavy like the car is, it's just really light. You can literally manoeuvre this thing round like you would just do a normal sized car, I guess. I'm sorry, but this is just an open stretch of road, so we're just gonna drop a gear maybe again. Ready? Oh my god! Right, we're going back in normal. I need to regain my thoughts. That's fast! I don't know what I expect. It's 500 brake horsepower. That's fast. Oh my god, sorry, I just had to take that opportunity. There was a massive straight road that was empty. Don't pretend like you would do the same thing. I dread to think how much fuel that's just used. Which gets me on to my next point, actually. I can't remember what I was saying before. I'm too excited. The fuel. Obviously, it's all well and good screaming around in your giant 4-litre, 5-litre V8. But let's just have a look at like what the fuel consumption is. Oh, I know where I am. I'm 100% meant to do that. Oh, I know exactly where I am. Right. So, fuel. Bearing in mind, I've got just under half a tank. I put £50 in it not long ago, literally like half an hour ago, and that gave me a range of 167 miles. Put my foot down there, it's gone down to 57, which is not great, but the average, it's lower than I thought. It's not looking good. It's 16.4. I don't know whether that is good actually. It's a 5-litre V8, isn't it? I suppose it's not awful. I was expecting it to be a little bit higher though, but yeah, 16.4. So, I mean, I don't think anybody would buy one of these and expect it to be good on fuel. I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say about that. We'll gloss over that. We'll gloss over the fact that it does literally 16.4 miles per gallon, and that's average. Actually, let me have a look what instantaneous is. Oh, actually, it says 42. Well, that is because I'm doing 30 miles an hour, and it's at 1,000 revs. I dread to think what the instantaneous was when I just put my foot down there. So we're done again. We'll just gloss over it. Yeah, it's a 5-litre V8 Range Rover. What did you expect? It to be good on fuel? No. So probably kind of been a bit all over the place what I've been saying, but to be honest, my brain is all over the place after being pinned in this seat far too many times today. But as a whole, it's good. I can't deny it. And this is the thing, people drive these things, people see these Range Rovers and will automatically assume that, you know, oh god, you're such a dickhead for driving that or whatever, or it's such a show-off car. But the reality is, A, yes, they are very flash, they are very in your face. It is a Range Rover at the end of the day. But B, it is a really good car and it's so nice to be in here. Like, that is the one thing that I always say every time I get in a Range Rover, like, God, isn't this nice? And I suppose, like, when you've got this side of it, it's not just nice to sit in. Like, the V6 diesel one that I drove the other day, yeah, it was nice to sit in. It wasn't particularly exciting in any way. It was just a nice place to sit. It was a nice car to drive. Whereas this is a nice place to sit, a nice car to drive, and it's bloody fast. Another cyclist, no problem. As a whole, this is a bloody good car. It's not to everyone's taste, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I understand that. But at the same time, you've got to respect it. If you haven't driven one and you still don't respect them, go and drive one. Like, just do it, because you will literally be like, oh god, yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it? Because that's exactly what I did. I used to think, oh no, Range Rover, meh. But no, like I said, if I had the money, I would have one. You ready? Oh my god. Wow. That is effortless. That is just effortless speed. And that gearbox is bloody good as well. I was using the paddles then, behind the steering wheel, and it's literally like that, like straight change. As soon as you get to about 4,000, you can literally feel the power surge. Like, it's fast to start with, but yeah, as soon as you hit 4,000, you can literally just feel the instant, like, oh god, there it is. I suppose that's like the supercharger kicking in, isn't it? Like, because god, you can feel it. I know this has probably just been me absolutely waffling, making no sense, but it's one of them cars where it's hard to gather your thoughts to make any kind of sense. So yeah, that is my bit of advice. If you've not driven a Range Rover yet and you do think that they're, you know, they're not very good, go and drive one. That's not me saying own one, that's just me saying go and drive one, and I can guarantee you will be like, she was right. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed having a little cheeky look round at this new Range Rover that we've had arrive today. Obviously this car will be going up very soon, and probably by the time you're watching this will already be live on the website, so make sure, I'm going to leave the link in the description to this car down below so you can go and have a look for yourselves. You can go and see if you want to come and take it out on a test drive and probably have the same reaction as what I did. Let me know if you like these kind of style of videos where I do just take you on a little tour and a little look around, and we can have a look together at what this car is actually like, because I've walked into this completely blind. I didn't know what to expect, you guys didn't know what to expect, so it's quite good that we've both got to experience it together, you know what I mean? I'm not coming in here just spilling facts at you, I'm literally just showing you my sheer reaction to 500 brake horsepower. Simple as that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, as mentioned, if you want to go and check out this car, I will leave it linked in the description below, and I will see you next week.